Hey, Steve, we got both cameras working. Okay, I'm good. Good evening, good evening, good evening. My name is Marshall. I'm an addict. I'm a person in long-term recovery, and I'm enjoying this life. That's the clean version of it. You know what I mean? But I want to get dirty with it too, you know? But man, every week, I find confirmation that I'm doing the right thing by doing this. I went to a celebration last night, and a guy came up to me and he said, "Man, you were in the Rise, you spoke at the Rise program 8 months ago. And man, that inspired me to do the right thing when I got out." And he was with some old recovering addicts. He was with the, that were celebrating, you know. And he said he had been clean for 8 months. So I said, "Man, kudos to you. I'm gonna give you the hookup." You know, I said, because the guy that you are with today, we're gonna get him to speak down east in probably 2 weeks. After he speak, you got 8 months, we're gonna let you speak. You know? After she get out and be out for 6 months, we're gonna let her speak. You know? But I see that, and I'm happy. That excites me. You know what I mean? This ain't my excited look now. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being cool, calm, and collective because it's on the inside. It excites me. You know what I mean? And I also want to let y'all know my birthday is Friday, October the 20th, 1951. Thought I was going to be dead before I turned 40 years old. The way I was running, the path that I was on, I thought I was going to be dead. You know, and man, that was a miserable feeling. You know, man, because I had two beautiful kids. Two beautiful kids. You know, and I'm saying, like, I won't even be here to see them graduate from high school. I won't be here to see them do this or to see them do that. You know, that was my version of things. Obviously, God had a different version, you know. And here I am, man, Friday, God willing, I'll be 72 years old, you know. And man, that's like, you know, guy called me today. He said, "Marshall, what you gonna do, you know, for your birthday?" And I was like, man, look, I done did a whole lot of outside celebrations. You know, my celebration this year is gonna be within. You know, I'm gonna celebrate with family, man. Me and my wife and my family and all that, you know, because it ain't a day that goes by, man, when I don't think about the fact that I'm clean. This is where I got, because I made a decision to get clean and stay clean, you know? And I understand at one time I ain't had that vision. The vision I had that I was gonna die. Because boy, it used to bother me even when I'm in the shooting gallery, that my mother might have to come identify me laying in the gutter, the street gutter somewhere, at the gambling house, at the crap house, and all that. You know what I mean? Because I had seen that happen to so many people. You know, I mean, every time you go to the crap house, man, or you don't go to the crap house, you know, somebody got killed. Somebody got killed about $5, and somebody got killed because they wouldn't let them in the crap house and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But that was a lifestyle. That was a lifestyle that we lived. You know what I'm saying? That was a lifestyle that we lived. You know, man, I gotta, y'all don't get Facebook and all that stuff in here. Ain't supposed to, you know. But I'm gonna find this thing that I got, man. I'm gonna find this thing that I got on here that you got to see this, man. I mean, it was, to me, it was so disturbing, man, you know. And what it was, I'm just give you the scenario until I find it, you know. A little 9-year-old kid was looking for his mother. Obviously, he had been looking for his mother for a while and couldn't find her, right? Finally, he runs up on her, and she in the little area where they used to get high at and hang out and all that. His mother was sitting on the steps, on the stoop, and she was so high that she couldn't even acknowledge him. She couldn't even open her eyes up. And the little kid was in it, said, Mom, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? She was like 9 years old. Pow! Smack the shit out of her. You know what I mean? And then, you know, somebody that was there was like, hey, hold on. Wait, hey, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, Mom, speak to me. Speak to me. He had something, he throwed it down on the ground, and she still wouldn't speak to him. After all they told him that, pow, 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 he hit her again. You know? And the guy that showed the video said, I know y'all gonna be mad at me for showing this, but I'm gonna show this, you know. And they had so many comments about the 9-year-old kid. You know, what do you think about the 9-year-old kid? You know, the idea though, man, is that when we think sometimes that our addiction don't bother or affect nobody but us, you know, and they were just thinking, man, what this 9-year-old kid was going through. You know what I'm saying? You know, and so they kept saying, well, look, man, this ain't like something that had just happened. Something like this has happened one time before, you know. Oh, yeah, something like this had happened one time before. Man. Oh, I'll get ready to say, I know it's in here somewhere. Oh, y'all got Wi-Fi in here? Just got it back. Ooh, oh, bullshit, man. This was, man, this was some serious. We got Wi-Fi here. Come on now. No good pizza. Giving me problems. You too. But again, man, when we talk about this thing, man, it is, man, it's a situation that's going on because of the addiction thing, man. That's, you know, I don't know. When I saw that, man, I was like, wow, you know, it touches you. You know what I'm saying? Now, the thing about it is, we can think about some of the things that happened to us during our days out there, our nights out there. You know what I'm saying? And I specifically think about a situation with me. You know, when I was out there, man, you know, man, I had one of my kids with me. I had two beautiful kids. I had one of my kids with me, you know, and I'm trying to get on, man. Dude came to me the next day and told me, he said, Marshall, look, let me tell you something, man. He said, my wife said, you can come by here anytime you get ready. Don't bring the kid no more. You know? And I was like, damn. I mean, the dope fiends, the crap house don't embarrass me. You know what I'm saying? The shooting gallery don't have embarrassed me. You know what I mean? And, you know, I felt some kind of way about it, but I should have been embarrassed as well. You know? But it just goes back, man, to this thing, man, how, you know, the alcohol and the drugs, man, turn you to somebody that you don't want to be, man. They say sometimes it turns us into a monster. You know what I'm saying? And you know, part of why we here today, man, is like hoping, man, that you hear something. You know what I'm saying? Hoping that you hear something, you know. And in preparation, man, in preparation for going out there, it's been proven that most people, when they get out, they want to be doing 65 miles an hour. They want to be above the speed limit. The best way to acclimate yourself back to the outside is to do 45 miles an hour. Slow it down. Slow it down. You know, not only that's the best way to acclimate yourself, that's the best way to deal with your feelings. You know, is to slow yourself down, man. When you get overwhelmed, what do you do? When you get overwhelmed and you start getting these levels of anxiety that makes the situation worse, you know, you got to slow it down, man. Because last night, I heard it again last night in the meeting, man, most of us get out and we on a pink cloud. We be on a pink cloud. We've been in here, you know, we haven't had any drugs, alcohol, you know, for a minute. And eventually, the urge to use is going to come up. I'd be lying to you if I tell you it ain't going to happen. The urge to use is going to come. I mean, it may be 30 days, it may be 60 days, you know. It may take a minute, but it's going to come. Hey, Emma, have a seat. Yeah. Yeah, you gonna get the urge to use. Man, if you heard me, you done heard me say this, I don't know how many times, man. One of the most complicated things in this on this earth is the universe. I mean, we talk about the stars and the moon and the speed of lightning and all that. I can't even wrap my mind around that. You know, I can't even wrap my mind around the way my brain thinks. You can use drugs for 5 years, stop using it for 2 years, pick it up again, and in 2 or 3 weeks, you right back to where you left off. Your brain telling you, look, I like what you're giving me. I want you to give the same thing that you gave me 5 years ago. And that's how it works, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why people say, man, the old cliche, one is not enough and 1,000 too many. All it takes is one, you know? All it takes is one to ignite that shit again, man, to light that fire again. And if you think somebody lying, you know what I'm saying? I mean, some of us done been there, man. Some of us done been there, you know? I've been there myself. I was talking about that today, you know? We get to that point, man, where we think we can control this. I got it this time, you know? Didn't work for me last time, but I got it this time. I'm telling you, man, the brain, you know, why you think now, what you hear now, you hear more about mental health than you do about addiction. You know? And after research, this is where we move. There used to be a gap between addiction and mental health. You know? That gap has closed, man. It's like now, I heard somebody say, man, look here, it's mental health. Before you know it, all of us gonna be taking something. I mean, we go to, and this is me. I love to read. I got that from being in the penitentiary so long. That kept me from being bored when I was in the penitentiary, is to read. You know what I mean? And I still read, But to read about or hear about little kids taking Ritalin. I mean, I saw this in my neighborhood. Little kids, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. The little kid was like me, man. He was hyperactive and all that stuff, man. Love having fun and telling jokes and all that. The teacher said he was too active. He was disruptive in the class and all that. They gave this kid some Ritalin. They slowed him down from a 10 to about a 5. Slowed him down from a 10 to about a 5. When I'm looking at the news and I see about all these people that have walked away from their home, they haven't had their medication, I always think, are these some of the people that were taking Ritalin when they were 10 years old? You know what I mean? Because most of this medicine that we take, they're going to tell you, don't stop taking it on your own. Let the doctor take you off of it. You know what I mean? What they say now in the program, in the fellowship, is that if you own some medicine, take it. Take it. We here ain't no doctors. I don't know what kind of problem you may have. Take your medicine. That's between you and your doctor. And I tell you that it didn't used to be like that. They used to preach abstinence, no drugs, no alcohol. So somebody that had a mental health issue wouldn't even come into a 12-step program. All that shit has changed now. You got Wi-Fi? Okay. That has changed. That has changed now. Man, and for obvious reasons. I don't. Oh, okay. Yeah. A whole lot of things have changed. And it's all about the money. If you got money, you can change things, But at the same time, when you come in here, we give you a roadmap, man. We give you a roadmap about how to change, Give you a roadmap about how to change, and it's up to you whether you take it or not, I mean, it's a common denominator amongst everybody in here, man. And everybody in the fellowship. Let me tell you, I'm sitting down there last night. I mean, it was a room full of people. It looked like a convention. And I asked the guy that was sitting beside me, I said, what do an addict look like? He said, I don't know, And man, and I presented that to another individual. And he was like, man, it was a melting pot. Melting pot in that, And I tell you, this is my thinking early on. Man, I don't look like no addict. I go to jail, get cleaned up, gain a couple of pounds, I don't look like no addict. And I'm the slimiest thing you ever want to see. I'll steal from you as soon as you turn your back. So I don't know how an addict look. And man, I keep that in my mind. I wear that all the time. The feeling that I carry with me all the time is a feeling of being scared. I tell you that feeling of being scared. Scared to go back to where I came from. A lot of feelings that we're going to have when we leave here. Feelings of insecure. Feelings of being overwhelmed. Feelings of being angry. And I tell anybody, man, just slow it down. Slow it down, man. You can use this experience right here. Sometimes you get depressed. Sometimes you get angry. You get mad. You get upset. And it ain't going to kill you. It ain't going to kill you. Slow it down. Slow it down. Take a couple of deep breaths. You know, that should be over with. You know, I rely on this all the time. When you came here, you felt and thought like you couldn't do without something, a cigarette, can of beer, a whiskey, drug, whatever your drug of choice is. You got to have it. You come here, they take that shit away from you. And you don't die. It don't kill you. You know what I'm saying? Just got to slow it down, man. Slow it down. Now, my thing here for growth is motives, man. What's your motives, man? What are your motives? This is to allow you to look inside. What are your motives? You know, what are your motives for doing this? You know, and I hope you got some good motives for it, for doing this. Another question I'd like to throw out is, what's your purpose? What is your purpose? And you know what they say a purpose is? And a purpose can change. I don't know how often, but a purpose can change. A purpose is something that makes you wake up in the morning looking forward to it. Life, that's me. Life could be my purpose. Raising my kids used to be my purpose. Raising my grandkids was my purpose. Carrying a message is my purpose. Working was my purpose. You got to have a purpose, man. You got to have something, man. You know, I don't know what the rapper said is, what rapper said this, but they said you got to get it out the mud. What that mean, Pam? What that mean? You got to get it out the mud. Huh? Yeah. Hey, that means you got to work for it. That means that you got to work for it. You know? Whatever it is, man, you got to work for it. Your purpose in life, man. You got to put some work in it. You know? I got a job, man. I worked on a job for like 23 years. I did some shit that was unbeknownst to me. I worked 3 years straight without missing a day. And I was sick and I missed a day, and it pissed me off. Then I worked 3 more years straight. But look, that wasn't a hit right there. It was other people on that job that had worked 10 years without missing a day. One dude had worked 12 years without missing a day. The plant manager said, man, I don't believe this. You mean tell me you ain't got sick in 12 years? You know what I'm saying? He probably got sick, but he came to work anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because they used to say then, man, like, you know, you was on a grind, man. You know, you was trying to get something. You know what I mean? You had a purpose, man. You know what I'm saying? And you know, you followed that, man. You know? So I hope while you're here, you know, think about what kind of purpose you could have. I don't know, man. Could be raising your kids. Could be working, you know, so you can elevate yourself. Could be the job. You know what I'm saying? You know, you elevate yourself so that you could one time get your own apartment. You know what I mean? Have your own place. Because I'm telling you, I went through that. I ain't know what it is, what it was to pay no bills. You know? Somebody had to tell me about that, man. I ain't know what it was. I mean, saving the bank account. I'm talking to somebody the other day. You know, man, I'm like, what's wrong with people? They scared to pay their bills late. I mean, that was my way. The bill was due on the 1st. I pay them on the 5th. I got a grace period. You know, I pay them on the 1st. And because I didn't know. Every bill, and according, as it is today, every bill is on a 30-day cycle. And you don't pay your bill, what they do is they charge you interest. You know, some people got bills, man, and if they paid the bill based on how much they had to pay monthly, it'll take them like 40 years. You got a bullshit bill and you paying $29, $30 a month. It'll take you 40 years to pay it. You know what I'm saying? But we don't know, you know, I want to wear that. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm glad I saw somebody, man, that was a part of this program and, you know, acknowledged that they were part of this program, you know. And this is like 2 people, man, in a week, you know, that I saw, man, that tired of going to jail, you know, tired of doing time. You know what I'm saying? Tired of being away from their family, you know. And decide, man, you know, let me make a better decision. Let me make a different decision. You know what I mean? And man, it was like, I mean, seeing some people that I saw in that last night, man, I saw some people, because what they asked when they was giving out these key tags to Knowledge to Clean Time, they asked everybody that had 20 years come up front. And man, I saw some people that were very successful. They got their foundation in this program. And that was awesome. That was awesome. You know, I mean, you got a couple of people got their own business. A couple of people got own recovery houses and all that, you know. And I know, you know, in order for that to happen, that's why I just mentioned about purpose, man. You know, they had a purpose, man. The guy that came in here and spoke a few weeks ago, that had been incarcerated for 30 years, you know, man, this dude got out, man. I done heard him share a couple of times. This dude got out, man, and he had a purpose and he had a focus, man, you know, and he wasn't taking no for an answer, you know. And I'm just thinking, man, if everybody was to get out and, man, and have that kind of intuition like he had, everybody would be successful, you know. But it don't happen like that, because I ain't had that myself, you know. But it was good, man. It was good hearing him, you know. If y'all recognize today, John's not here. John had to take a vacation. He said, y'all worried the shit out of him. He needed a vacation, you know what I'm saying? He needed a break, you know. So he's gone for a couple of weeks, but we keeping the show running, man. We keep the ball moving, man. Y'all see we got Batman over there. Yeah. We got Batman working, man. Pretty soon, man, Steve gonna be able to take a break. Batman gonna come in here and set this thing up himself, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what happens, man. We just don't talk the program, we live the program. And then, you know, Steve, what the dude that used to come in, Steve? Art used to come in, and Steve was learning from Art. You know, now you see how this thing going, man. Art ain't here no more. Steve got it, you know, and Steve teaching Batman, you know. So, that's how that thing go, man. But anyway, you know, that's the hit, man. You know, stick that arm out there, man. Stick the arm out there. Don't go by yourself, man. You know, help somebody. Help somebody, you know. And that's our motive. That's my motive for being here, is to help somebody, you know. I don't care who it is, you know. You get some help, man, you know what I mean? Kudos, you know what I'm saying? Because what I have learned too, man, is I can't pick and choose. You know what I'm saying? Who get this thing and who don't get this thing, you know? But anyway, I killed enough time because our speaker, he didn't need a whole hour. I took the majority of it for him. You know what I'm saying? But he's still gonna give us a half an hour or so. You know what I'm saying? And I met this guy, man. For the first time last week. You know, I met him and his brother, you know. And man, he got an awesome story, you know. I ain't gonna tell you none of it, but he got an awesome story, you know. And because this is what I like to do, man. I like to bring people like Rich in here. Hey, I like to bring people like Rich in here, you know, So you can sort of identify with it. You know what I'm saying? What he's been going through, you know, for the last couple of years. And there's a reason why we had a girl sitting up front, you know. Yeah. Hey, but anyway, without any further ado, man, I give you Rich.
Thanks, sir.
All right.
What's up, y'all? My name's Rich. I'm a person in recovery. I had almost 2 years. Before that, I was an addict for about 19 years long. I grew up in a way where we had plenty of free time. I could feel myself getting in trouble all the time. You know, that's all right.
She used to be in here.
I figured I'd do that. And for a while, I started trying to college. Didn't really work out. Then I went and found out about photography. And I ended up wound up working for NASCAR for 5 years as a photographer. In the meantime, I got married and found out that when you're first married, your wife doesn't like you to be on the road 40 weeks a year. I kind of understand it, hindsight being 2020, but it made me come home and decide that I had to find something else to do. Wound up with a lot of free time on my hands again for a little while and picked up a habit. For the first time, I picked up a bad habit. Started doing dope on the weekends. And we were both codependent. We were enablers for each other. I decided to get clean. She'd get better. She'd come inside, get clean, and one of us would mess up. And you know how that goes. I mean, if you've been in it before, it's. We stayed married for 15 years. Had a wonderful son. Somehow in that time, I wound up getting a new career. Had a salary job. Did really, really well at it. If there's such a thing as a functional addict, I was pretty much that functional addict. I could somehow get up and go to work, still make it home at night, and still sell the dope man whatever I needed to do. But I was able to maintain a job. People, for some reason, kept trusting me, let me do whatever. I had salary, bonuses, whole 9 yards. But the habit did start to really have an effect at home. We ended up the beautiful son between us. She cleaned up, and I didn't. I ended up getting divorced. She took my son and moved home to Mississippi. At that point in my life, everything kind of crashed around me. I just didn't give a shit anymore. You know, I mean, I went from having a great job to losing everything. I ended up living on the street. You know, we're all from Richmond. People know Midlothian Turnpike, that area over there by Chippenham. I was over there. I lived in the woods between the parole board and the probation office for a while. My brother and I wound up basically in the same position at the same time. One afternoon, I was at a McDonald's and ran into him. We decided that right then and there, we weren't going to let each other fail anymore. You know, I mean, it's kind of crazy. Didn't know exactly how to do that. We both had a habit for a while. But we knew if we supported each other and had each other's back, nobody else had my back. You know, it didn't matter what somebody told you. People were looking to rip you off the first second you turned around, you know. But we wound up out on the street in 2019 and the beginning of 2020, and COVID hit. And there was no social services. There was nothing. We tried to get help. It just extended time. out camping. That's what I called it at that point. But it's really better known as being homeless, you know. And we ended up finding a program called Homeward, and wound up in the Days Inn over there for a little while. But I didn't get along too well with the managers there. And one day I rode my bike back home, and he came out yelling at me about something about being on the phone. And I wound up calling him a motherfucker, and he was like, you called me a motherfucker, you're out of here. So we're about to be back in the woods again. We looked at each other and said, man, we got to figure this shit out, you know. We wound up between doing crisis programs through Medicaid. We wound up getting a hotel room we wound up between the two of us making enough money and crisis programs to be able to stay in a hotel until a program opened up. Got in a program over on the south side that was really interesting. It was a real clinical program. The people weren't really experienced. They didn't know shit, you know. I mean, of course, as an addict, I always knew better, you know, but they cared. And wound up over there. I was able to put like a month of clean time underneath me. I'd do all right, you know, and then fall off the wagon again and then get back up. But these ladies in that program, they love me. For some reason, they wanted to help me. They knew I wanted to help. And eventually they're like, Rich, you got to go to inpatient rehab and then you can come back here. I was like, well, I'm doing great. Like, nah, no, you're not. To me, I was, because I was only using every couple of days versus every day 4 or 5 times a day, you know. I was actually, but wound up going out to an inpatient place. And right before I left, a friend of ours was like, man, I'm going to come give you some money so you can go catch your buzz, you know. And for some reason, of course, he didn't show up. And I sat there through my whole inpatient, 48 days up in the mountains going, all right, I'm going to do it just one more time when I get home. Just one more time. When I got home, I didn't really reach out to him. And didn't really have much money. I had EBT, but something in the back of my mind said, don't sell it, eat, you know. And wound up having about 90 days clean time underneath it. And then it turned into 120, 6 months of clean time, a year. And now we're 40 days shy today of being 2 years clean. It can be done, you know. It is what it is, but it's what you put into it, you know, and you have to want it. If you don't, when you hit your bottom, you'll know, because it changes everything. And that was one of the hardest things for me, is where's my bottom? Was it going to be in jail? Was it going to be dead? To me, it was living in the woods, taking every bit of I was so upset what I'd done to myself that I became dependent not only on drugs, but other people's kindness and other things just to get by, you know. I'd supported myself and a family for years, and having no support except for other people who didn't even know me, that was it for me. You know, I couldn't do that. I couldn't look at people in the face anymore and feel like a real person. But as I came out and I was able to get clean, I started thinking and learning stuff that, what can I do to help? You know, I got to keep this fresh in my mind. Part of what our bodies do, a lot of y'all probably know this, is you remember the best part of what was happening before, you know, when you were running, gunning, or ripping and running in the streets. You remember the fun times. You remember the times with your boys. You remember kicking it, you know. You remember going out and going on dates when you had that extra stack in your pocket, you know. I mean, you remember the good things, but you forget the bad. And what I ended up having to do was keep that bad stuff fresh in my mind every day. And I've started working with other people. I worked on, first thing I did was get a certificate. It's called peer coach. And what that does allows me, teaches you how to go talk to people, you know? And then from there, I ended up getting what's called a PRS. It's a peer recovery specialist certificate. And that allows me to go into places like the McShin Foundation or somewhere like that and be able to help people who want help, you know? And that's the key, is people wanting help. And what it's done for me is be able to keep everything fresh in my mind. How bad it really, really was when I was out there on the street. I hope, my one hope is that if I just make a difference in one person's life once a week, that I'll be making a difference, you know, because if you don't, what's it worth living for, you know? I mean, it's, I've been to the bottom. I'm just trying to think where I go from here. But the best thing that I've come to find out of my recovery is when I go and work the 12 steps. Do y'all do the 12 steps? Do y'all go to 12-step meetings? Do y'all do AA, NA? Do they have that in here? No. All right. So when you get out, there's a lot of 12-step is a way of recovery. You know, it's something voluntarily you can do. It's kind of like everybody's heard of AA, but you can go, and the 12-step is to help those still sick and suffering, you know, and that's people in recovery. And your best bet is to be able to help out, you know. I mean, that's for me. I hope. I don't know where I go from here, guys. Somebody give me a hand, Travis.
You need help? You need a lifeline?
Yeah. But
Hey, Glenn, give him the mic. Travis, want to get up and say something? You want me to?
Yeah.
yeah, give me a hand, Trav.
Steve's got your mic.
You got a mic for you.
Hey, good job, Rick.
Thank you, Rich.
Good job. Can you hear me? Yep. You got me? What's up, man? I'm Trav. I'm at. Damn, they ain't never gonna let you out. A couple new people. You still out here too, damn. All right. Man, my name's Travis. I'm an addict, man. I'm gonna continue on something that me and I can't hear myself in here. I'm gonna continue on something that me and Steve over there were talking about, a little podcast today. We run a little podcast. So if y'all got your little cell phone hitting over there, like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah.
We're talking about, man, have y'all ever heard the phrase, give up the fight? You ain't never heard that? Give me some help. Just put me on my thing. Have you heard the phrase, give up the fight, bro? Man, that meant so many different things to me at first, because, like, at first, do I want to quit using drugs and alcohol? Yeah, because I'm tired of getting goddamn locked up. I know y'all are tired of it, especially you. You tired of it? That shit's in the way. So what you gonna do? I gotta stop using. I gotta stop getting high. I'm tired. Somebody help me. Lord, please. Even if it's God, giving up the fight. Then what you gonna do? Now, this is how the disease gets tricky, because you think that's the end of it. And now what Rich was talking about is picking a pathway. That's crucial, because y'all are in here like programming this shit, but this ain't the program. This damn correction. All you're in here doing is breaking a bad habit. One of them is you can't get no drugs, but what you gonna do when life starts coming at you, kicking you in the ass? You got bills, you're trying to get your kids back. You sad. What you gonna fall back on? That's the program. That's what he's talking about, like NA, AA, methadone, whatever. I'm all passionate guy. Pick something and stick with it. I'm NA myself. Marshall, what you are?
NA.
12-stepper.
Yeah.
Because it's going to teach you a couple things, like goddamn some spiritual principles, something to fall back on. It's going to get. Does anybody got a plan for when they get out? Because I remember I used to be in jail. Like, I'm clean now. I got back, did 5 push-ups, got a haircut. I'm ready. I'm ready. Soon as I got down, get out, I'm nervous as hell. Oh shit, I'm excited. What I'm gonna do? Oh man, the girl already bitching at me. Damn, she's talking about get a job. God damn, man, a job. I'm nervous as hell. The ride home, I'm already thinking, what do you do when you get nervous, anxious? I use. I'm like, shit, I'm gonna get a beer. But to me, that's still the fight. That's not giving up the fight. Because a beer to me is clean. I shoot dope. Shit, I sniffed dope. That's the fight too. I sniffed dope at first. Shit, I'm still clean. I ain't shooting it. Sniff some powder. Shit, I ain't no crackhead. Shit, the fight. You got to give it up. That's the behavior part of it. That's the one that be kicking my ass and I don't even know it. Because I ain't aware. I ain't getting no word. Still fighting. That bitch a gorilla. It'll whoop your ass. Stay vigilant. Pick a pathway. Love y'all.
Thank you, Travis. Hey, y'all got any questions for Travis or either for Rick? Got any questions? Yeah, he'll answer some questions. You know?
Travis, you were here like a few months ago, right?
Yeah, I've been here about 7, 8 months ago.
Was it 7, 8 months ago?
Yeah,
We lose track of time.
Before with the camera and shit.
yeah.
Yeah, and I've been to jail east.
No, it was here. You came with 2 other guys.
Oh yeah, that was 8
Yeah.
months ago.
Yeah,
That was 8 months ago.
8 months ago.
yeah.
Yeah, he had a hat on. He was looking-
I was shaking back. I was on a diet. Working out.
Yeah, yeah.
Elliptical
Yeah,
machine.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. I remember. She got a good memory.
We're back. Because I love bringing the message of hope to y'all. And that's good. You see me goddamn shaking off methadone. And look, it don't take that much time. And then I'm half-assing it sometimes. That's another part of the fight. Taking a simple suggestion. I'll have an internal battle, like I'll do everything. Read the first chapter of the basic text. Man, I'll think of every excuse. I'm fighting this shit. And my sponsor, he knows it. That's another good thing about picking a pathway. You ain't got to do it alone. It's somebody that can call me out on my bullshit. Highlight the book. I read a book. I highlight the whole goddamn thing. Ain't talking about something when you want to goddamn throw the coloring book away and get serious, call me. And then when I get tired of struggling, then I take it serious. Lord, help something jump out at me so I can help myself, quit getting my ass kicked. Thank you.
Yeah, he talking about some real stuff, man, some real stuff, you know, when you step out the door. I mentioned too that eventually, man, the urge to use, it's gonna come. And I can't tell you, I mean, after 30 years, I done had a using dream, you know? But, you know, we learn to process that shit differently now, you know? I like she was saying about him. That's part of the process, man. You come in here and you gain weight.
I didn't.
You do.
All up.
Yeah. You come in here and you gain some weight, you know? But I like too, man, my takeaway from Rick, man, is, you know, when you find yourself at a bottom, you know you at a bottom, you know, and you know, what do? You know, because there's some shit that you got to figure out yourself. You know, like this whole thing between him and Rick was the reason why people tell you get a sponsor, get a home group, and go to meetings. You know, go to meetings so that you can hear something, also so that you can connect to something, connect with somebody that's basically trying to do the same thing you're trying to do. He just said, you ain't got to do it alone. That shit is paramount. You know, man, how many people we know out there try to do it by themselves, slip, trip, you know, man, I ain't see it coming. We already told you, you know. At one time they said, man, if we could do it all over again, what would we do more of? Listen. You know, listen. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's me, and my takeaway is that I done took a class in listening. So you learn to hear what an individual don't say. That shit seems like it's hard for a minute, but after you started doing it, you know what I'm saying? It ain't that hard, you know? Because that's what people do, man. A lot of times we ain't communicating clearly. But you know, you see the relationship between him and the sponsor. You know, he was like, look, I'm going to read the book and I'm going to highlight all this good shit. Somebody come out and look at my book and say, damn, you know, he working. His sponsor said, look, when you finish with the coloring book, then we can get to work. You know what I'm saying? That shit ain't real as you want me to think it's real. You know? And that's what has to happen, man. I mean, for me, it was like you get it raw. When I first came in, and I tell you why. I did the research on this thing, man. I did the history of a 12-step program, NA and AA, back in 1935, you know? And at one time, they used to put people out or wouldn't let people in because they only had a small group. They didn't want you to come in and you ain't serious. Like he said, like Rich said, you gotta want it. If you haven't shown nobody that you really want it, they ain't want you to come in here and then take somebody else out with you. You know? And I understand that. You know what I mean? Because dudes told me, I remember when I came there, they was like, look, man, okay, you come on in this time and we got a sponsor for you. You know? And they give you one, a hard ass as a sponsor. Because they understood that's what I need, man. You know, I won't ready. You know what I'm saying? But they ain't want you coming in here, man, messing up the program, you know. That's good. That's good stuff, you know. And I mean, so you think about yourself, man. What it is that you want. Because I done seen them too tell individuals, man, go back, use some more. When you're ready, then show up. You know, that ain't been that long ago. You know, you done relapsed 2 or 3 times. You came in and pick up a white key tag, you know, and the dude's gonna tell you, man, you ain't serious. You know, you ain't serious. You're wasting our time and you're wasting your time. You know, get serious about this thing. What it is that you need, you know, you got to figure that out, man. Rich mentioned something about it. And you heard me and John say that all the time. We can't make an individual do nothing. We can't make you do anything, man. We can't make you stay clean if you don't want to. That's what I'm talking about the mind. I done seen dudes like me. I stayed in the penitentiary for 6.5 years. And part of my plan when I got out, man, me and my girl gonna get together. I'm gonna get me a blast, maybe not in that order. I'll get me a blast, then me and my girl can get together, you know. But that was my plan, you know. I never forget going to treatment. Man, I'm sharing this with somebody the other day. Going to treatment. And man, when I get out, I was out, it wasn't even 30 days. I go ran into the drug dealer to scope. The drug dealer said, man, didn't you just come from one of them treatment programs? I was like, yeah. He said, man, get the fuck on from around here. You know what I'm saying? I ain't doing that shit to you, you know? And I mean, that's how it was, man, you know? The shit was hard, man. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, we got it made now, man, because they got programs all over the place, man. You know? I mean, when I came in here, man, it won't that many meetings, you know? It won't that many meetings. So you really had to want it. No, you talking about working the steps. I stayed on step 1 for about 2 years, just trying to show them that I wanted to stop using. I got out of jail, and for 2 years, I was on step 1. You know, they was like, hey, did you use today? No, okay, come back tomorrow. You know, and we just went through that for like 2 years. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I became okay with it. because I was bounced in and out. I was in and out of jail, man, 7 times. It ain't by accident that I'm doing the jail thing. And I've been doing the jail thing for 25 years. Rich mentioned part of that, right? Because every time I come to the jail thing, man, it's like a snapshot for me mentally. It's a snapshot, especially when I go down east. You know, when I go down east, it's a snapshot. And it reminds me this could happen to me if I make a bad decision. You know, I was down there last week. I went off on the dudes down there last week because I overheard a dude talking like he didn't want to be there. You know, the CEO had already said, if you don't want to be here, you can go back, you know? And I overheard that conversation. I was like, oh, no, 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 no. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to be here right now, go on back to the pod. You know? We ain't trying to make nobody come in here to get this thing. This shit is free. We doing this shit, we don't get paid. We doing this voluntarily, you know, to try to help somebody. Man, Rich was at West. I mean, he was at East. He was at West. He ain't getting no money for doing this, carrying the message. Travis came here to support Rich. He ain't getting paid no money. We doing this shit voluntarily, you know. But you got to understand when you do this shit, you know, it's reciprocated. I come in, I help somebody, you know, and I'm also helping myself, you know. Because what this thing, man, this is my thing all the time, man. What you do for yourself, it dies when you die. What you do for others, continue to live on, you know. And man, one of my purposes is to touch somebody. That's what Rick said. One of my purposes is to touch somebody. Oh man, especially in my family, man. My granddaughter had me crying. She's 3 years old. My wife took a video of her. My wife was babysitting her, and they was getting ready to eat. And she said, wait a minute, Gigi. I want to say that blessing. Man, you talking about a high. I saw that shit, it brought tears to my eyes. You know, I just told you how I had my son with me when I was out there getting high. He was about that age. He was about 3 years old. You know, he don't even remember that shit. And then I got another 3-year-old grandchild, you know, that's, man, living the fruits of my labor. Living, man, behind the work that I done put in. You know, man, and my wife, my daughter-in-law and my son, they know nothing about my years of addiction. They know nothing about that shit. My daughter does, but my son, no. I haven't forgotten that shit. That shit still, and somebody was talking about that, but you got to remember that bad shit. That shit is still fresh in my mind. Man, what I did to them kids, man. They don't even know it. I told you my daughter, man. My daughter was 11, 12, 13 years old, and she says, I'm going to be a lawyer one day because my daddy going to need my help. She know how, hey, my daughter learned how to walk in the penitentiary. Penitentiary ain't even here no more. She learned how to walk down there. And I mean, all the guards and shit knew her. That's Marsha's daughter. You know what I'm saying? Today, man, she is a lawyer. You know, she is a lawyer. But it affected her eventually in a positive way. You know, those fences were mended, you know, in a positive way. You know what I mean? And I'm so thankful. You know, I tell anybody, my shit is redemption. You know what I'm saying? Redemption. I got that, man, from my moms, and I got that for my daughter. You know, and my wife. You know what I'm saying? It was redemption, you know? Being wild, crazy, stupid, and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Then, man, getting your shit together. You be turned upside down, and now you right side up. You know? I can walk straight again. I talk about some of the feelings we might go through, insecure and all that shit like that. You know what I'm saying? What do we do about it? Just take your time. Just take your time. Find somebody to talk to. Go to a meeting. That's what they said last night, Travis. If you ain't heard your story yet, that means you ain't been to enough meetings. You know? But man, we always here. Damn, we good, Pam. Yeah, we good. Y'all got any questions? Y'all got any questions? All right, who leaving? She leaving Monday. In 2 weeks. All right. You be at McShin? Yeah, we got you. Yeah, we got you. Any more questions? All right. Y'all thank Pam. Thank me. Thank Travis. Thank Rich. Thank Steve. Thank Batman. Thank everybody. All right. Enjoy it.